So one of the reasons why I did get a guitar, of all the instruments I could have bought, I have a soft spot for the piano, but I figured, because I didn't want to do songwriting, that it would take me, obviously this is exaggerating, but 5 years to become decent enough at piano to the point that I can actually use it to write songs. Whereas guitar, you just have a few chords in your head and you can kind of fool around. But what then actually happened is, rather than get straight into songwriting, I spent the better part of most of the last 2 years just learning other people's songs that I like, songs that I really enjoy. And I think I wouldn't change that, because what it did do was elevate my skills as a guitarist. So I learned a lot of different chords. I learned a lot of different skills. So from, strumming, hammer-ons, pull-offs, slides, vibrato, all that jazz. Things that I would have obviously learned eventually, but when you're trying to perform someone else's songs, there's an extra motivation, there's an extra inspiration because you love the song and it resonates with you deeply. So yeah, so the past 2 years I've just built a solid foundation, and yeah, I think going into next year, there's a few things that I want to improve on, of course. Like, I know chords, I know how to play notes, but I am not as I'd say my playing isn't that smooth. So because I don't have to perform, I'm not in a band, etc., I don't necessarily have to level up my performance, because I'm not performing for anyone, I'm mostly performing for myself and my own enjoyment. But if I actually want to use like, for example, if I, let's say, come up with a riff and actually want to use it in music production, it'll be a little bit better if the performance of the riff is as close to, like, very good, so that when I actually use it or edit it in software, I'm not starting with like a terrible take, because I have tried to edit some of the work that I've some of the riffs that I've come up with, and if you don't have a good foundation, it's not gonna not that it's not gonna sound good, but it's just takes a lot more work to process it. And similar to photography, like, if you editing obviously is important, but if you take a good picture, if you start with a good picture, you're 75% of the way there. Then once you're editing, you're just kind of accentuating the things that you want to accentuate. So the same thing with an instrument like guitar. If I can also, when I play, get to 75% of the sound, or the rhythm, or rather the melody that I want to use, a chord progression, then when I put it in software, it's just the remaining 25%. What kind of effects do I want to put? What tempo, etc. But yeah, I think it's exciting times going forward, and yeah, thank you for following my journey. If you're following my journey, or just like this guitar guy.